Here we go. Okay, so refreshing our memories very quickly on what we talked about yesterday. We start with the conditional, which is in the form P implies Q. We start with a hypothesis and we get a conclusion. Then if we switch the order, which one is that? No. Converse, right. You switch the order, you get a converse. If you negate both of them, you get the inverse, and if you do both, you get the contrapositive. So, for instance, if you live in Mount Prospect, then you live in Illinois. What's the converse? Tommy, go ahead.
Oh, if you live in Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you live in Illinois, I don't know, is it that you don't have to live in Mount Prospect?
No, it's just a converse, not you're not changing anything, you're just switching the order.
If you live in Illinois, you can live in Mount Prospect.
Perfect. Okay. So take the hypothesis, make it the conclusion, take the conclusion, make it the hypothesis. What's the inverse?
If you don't live in Mount Prospect, then you don't live in Illinois.
Perfect. Okay. And then, what's contrapositive? Go on.
If you don't live in Illinois, you don't live in Mount Prospect.
Good. Okay. Any problems there? All right, again, the converse switches the order, the inverse negates both of them, the contrapositive negates and switches. Now, we want to start talking about these statements being true or false. And I just glanced over that when we were going through all these examples with the cows and the Mount Prospect and everything else, but now we're going to start talking about whether or not they're true or false. So, in order for a statement to be true, like it says up there, the hypothesis has to be true, and the conclusion has to be true. We get a true situation there. If something is a cow, then it moves. That's a true statement. Now, as we do, when we talk about the true and false bit here, we're assuming general statements. Okay, so if something is a cow, then it moves is a true statement. Is there a cow out there that doesn't move? I'm sure there's some cow out there that had a freak accident and lost its vocal cords and can't move.
Probably.
Okay, probably. But in general, this is a true statement. In order for it to be false, the hypothesis still has to be true, but the conclusion is false. If something swims, then it is a fish. Can you find something that swims? Yeah. Does it have to be a fish?
No.
Why not? What's counterexample?
A dog can swim.
Max can swim. Max is a counterexample.
A shark can swim.
A shark can swim.
A mouse can
But a
swim.
shark is a fish.
My bad.
A dolphin can swim.
But a whale can swim. A whale's not a fish.
Yeah, dolphins are mammals.
But
There you go.
whales have fish.
But they're
Turtles swim.
Yeah, and those
I'm not
are.
heard a lot of
Oh, what are they? Reptiles? What's a
Platypuses
turtle?
can swim.
I think it's a
Reptile.
reptile.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the other one.
Okay, now here's the weird part. CBD cannot be determined. There are instances where you cannot determine if it's true or false. So you can pretty much tell me what that is because you're all fairly bright. If the hypothesis is true and the conclusion is true, it's true. If the hypothesis is true but the conclusion is false, then it's false. What would cannot be determined be?
If the hypothesis is false.
They're both false.
They're both false. Okay. If the hypothesis is false, then you can't make a decision on whether it is. Is the moon made of green cheese?
Yes.
Never said green.
Probably.
Sorry, is the moon made of cheese?
No.
Probably. There's a chance.
Yeah,
Slim,
There might be
but a chance. In general, I think we're safe assuming that the moon is not made of cheese. Since the moon is not made of cheese, then we don't know if I eat glass.
Do you eat glass?
But that's not the point. The point is that we can't determine that.
It's really bad for your teeth.
Does that make sense? Because that's going to pop up every once in a while, and it usually confuses people. True, false, false, false. Right, doesn't work. But it's not false, it cannot be determined.
So would it be like not false? It could be either.
Correct, and that's why it's CBD, cannot be determined. Okay? All right, you with me? Good. So let's go all the way back to the start of the slideshow.
Are we gonna go through it again?
Oh no, we don't do that. We want to go. Where do we? Billy, poster, picture, great, good. Counterexample. There we go. Okay. If today is Monday, then yesterday was the weekend. Is that a true statement?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, yesterday was Sunday.
Oh.
If today is Monday,
Okay.
Yesterday was Sunday.
then it's true. What's the converse, Kaylin?
If yesterday was the weekend, then today is Monday.
Is that a true statement?
No. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Okay, let's approach this in a civil manner. The converse was if yesterday was the weekend, then today is Monday. If it's false, for those of you that are shouting that it's false, you should have a counterexample. What's the counterexample, Rex?
If yesterday was Saturday, then today would be Sunday, still making it the weekend.
Okay, good. Kaylin, back to you. What's the inverse?
If yesterday, no, if today is not Monday, then yesterday was not the weekend.
Is that true or false?
False.
It gets a little ugly, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, all right. And then before I move on, what's the contra, we'll come back to that in a second because I got something I think will help you. What's the contrapositive?
If yesterday was not the weekend, then today is not Monday.
Perfect. When you start throwing the knots in there, things get a little confusing. So I got a couple theorems here that'll help you. Meaning glass. Okay, so let's do these first, then we'll go back and check these out. This is going to save you a lot of hassles because finding the true or falseness of this conditional is pretty easy. Finding the truthness, I don't even know if those are words, the true or falseness of the converse is easy. When you start throwing the knots in there, it got real quiet because nobody wanted to go out on a limb. So you can use these. Okay, there is a comparison between the conditional and the contrapositive, and the same relationship is between the converse and inverse. So you should never have to think about whether or not the contrapositive is true or false. All you have to do is look at the original conditional. So the conditional and the contrapositive always match, the converse and the inverse always match. So if we go back to the weekend example, the original conditional was true, correct? Today's Monday, yesterday was the weekend. Yeah,
Okay.
just say yes.
Yeah.
Good. So therefore the condition, or the contrapositive would also have to be true.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna bother playing with the knots and all the other stuff. We're just gonna say it's true because the original conditional is true. Then the inverse, which was if today is not Monday, or if yesterday was, no, what was it? If today is not Monday, then yesterday was not the weekend, would be false because the converse was false.
Are we gonna have to do this with like numbers?
What do you mean with numbers?
Like if x equals this, then
Not very often. Okay, we got this?
no.
Okay. All right, let's go back then. Let's start with the cows. If something is a cow, then it moves. Keegan, is that true? Okay. I agree. What's the Gesundheit? What's the converse?
If it moves, then something is a cow.
Is that true? Why not? What's your counterexample? Can you? Was good move. Okay. So the rest of this should be pretty easy. We've established that the conditional is true, the converse is false, so we'll have to remember that. Tegan, what's the inverse?
Inverse is if something is not a cow, it does not move.
True or false? Because?
Because the converse is false.
Bingo. Don't try to figure that out. Just go back to the converse, because the inverse and the converse are related. Okay, and then last one, what's the contrapositive?
Does not move, then something is not a cow.
Perfect. True or false?
False, or true,
True, because?
because the condition is true.
Perfect. Okay, everybody following that now?
Beautiful. Oh, it's so pretty outside.
I
know.
Are you
It's
like
Is the original statement true or false?
True.
True, right. And now, yes, there could be like a Mount Prospect in China. I mean, whatever. But we all know what Mount Prospect I'm talking about, and that would be a true statement. Okay, Tommy, we need your help because you did this. What was the converse?
If you live in Illinois, then you live in Mount Prospect.
Ella, true or false?
False.
Counterexample?
You can live in Chicago.
Any other city in Illinois that's not Mount Prospect. Good. What was the inverse, Tommy?
Wait, is it if you don't live, or wait,
Yeah.
yeah, if you don't live in Mount Prospect, then you don't live in Illinois.
Good. True or false?
False.
Why?
Because you can live in another city.
Don't overthink it. Take the easy route.
Um,
It's false because the converse was
Yeah.
false. Okay. And then what was the contrapositive, time?
If you don't live in Illinois, then you don't live in Mount Prospect.
True or false?
Super confusing.
yeah,
True, because that was true. Okay. Rex, you have a question?
No,
You
just,
just doing some yoga back there?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, good. Nice tree pose. We did the cow already. If something is a fish, if something swims in it is a fish, and we said that's false because it says it's false. What's the converse of that? Yep.
If something is a fish, then it's, no, wait,
Yeah, it's fine.
yeah, if something is a fish, then it swims.
Something is a fish, then it swims. True or false? That one's true. Okay, so that's the converse. What's the inverse?
If something doesn't swim, then it's not a fish.
True or false? Right, it gets a little confusing. Okay, so we had the original conditional. Conditional, we said was false. We had the converse, which you said was true. Then we had the inverse. Still trying to figure that one out. If something does not swim, then it is not a fish.
That's true.
That is true. Why is it true? Did you go through and process if something doesn't swim and all that other stuff?
Yeah, I was trying, but it's the same as a converse. So.
Right. So tell me what the contrapositive is, and then we'll determine whether it's true or false.
Wait, if
Go ahead.
if something is not a fish, then it doesn't swim.
True or false?
False.
False. And again, because the conditional is false. And then we don't even really need to talk about me eating glass because it's not a false. Well, we could, I mean, it's not true nor false, so we can't, we could look at what's the converse of that statement?
Mr. Reed eats glass and Mr. cheese.
Correct. Okay, and I'm not gonna ask true or false because we don't know, because I don't, as far as you know, I don't eat glass. What's the inverse? Okay, so now can we determine the true or falseness of that statement?
Oh.
Is the moon not made of cheese?
Yeah.
Yes, so that statement is true, so therefore, what can you say about me not eating glass?
Well, who's to
No,
say?
we
We
don't
don't know if we do it.
Right,
You'd probably be dead.
I hope so too.
No,
I hope that I don't also. It's bad on the digestive system.
Yep.
Okay, we did those already.
You should tell a cow joke.
I should what?
How is it led?
Cow joke.
Max, put the iPad away. You don't need it, and it's aggravating us. If an animal is a bat, then it can fly. Daniel, true or false?
True.
True. And again, assuming that it's a general bat and it's not some bat that was got fed into a lawnmower or something, I mean, whatever. Okay.
Really still flies.
What's converse, Daniel?
If something can fly, then it is a bat.
True or false?
False.
So what's your counterexample?
Birds.
Birds fly, but they're not bats. Okay. What's the inverse?
If something is not a bat, then it cannot fly. False.
Because?
Birds.
Okay, same counterexample. And the contrapositive,
If something cannot fly, it is not a bat.
true or false?
True.
Because?
No, the conditional is true.
Good. Okay, we're done. Fast fact for today. Yesterday we learned that platypuses bites are poisonous. Platypi, sorry. Today we learned that baby bat is called a pup.
Not
Awesome.
That's weird.
I knew that. I thought those were
so cute.
dogs.